In 2024, bankruptcies are wreaking havoc on average American families and businesses, according to recent U.S. court data. With consumer prices on the rise, many are forced to rack up significant debt just to scrape by. On the business side of things, dropping sales and profits combining with escalating costs are adding to the strain. This credit crisis is now mirroring the severity of the Great Recession, leading major banks to tighten lending to prevent further financial bleeding. The Federal Reserve has highlighted a concerning trend. Bank credit has been on the decline for 3 consecutive quarters, something that hasn't happened since 2010. This downturn is only the second in the past 50 years, the last occurring during the 2008-2009 global financial crisis. With Wall Street analysts predicting a bleak future for the U.S. economy, the drop in lending shows no signs of letting up. Thilo Maratz, who oversees liquid assets at the German insurer Continental Versicherungsverband, noted that this credit squeeze means higher borrowing costs and tougher loan conditions for both businesses and consumers. The result is the companies are slashing budgets and individuals are delaying big-ticket purchases like cars and houses. This pullback in spending threatens to slow economic growth even further. Sky-high interest rates are making tough times even tougher, and the central bank says it won't change its strict monetary policy until it meets its 2% target. This means households and businesses will continue to face challenges getting credit. According to a recent FED survey, most U.S. banks tightened their lending standards last quarter. Over half of these banks are now stricter with loans to large and mid-sized companies, and 68% have tightened up on commercial real estate loans. Since February of this year, there's been a $33 billion plunge in commercial real estate loans, fueled by rising defaults and significant losses in the sector. This downturn has caused the downfall of 5 financial institutions, including Republic First Bank, which regulators took over and sold last month. The situation with household loans is similar. While soaring mortgage rates have cooked the demand for home loans, there's been an uptick in applications for other types of consumer loans like credit cards, auto loans, and personal loans, despite banks being more cautious with their lending. In fact, 36% of U.S. banks have tightened their standards for credit card loans, up from 30% at the end of last year, which is a trend resembling those seen in previous recessions. Banks are also grappling with a substantial drop in deposits. Over the past year, total bank deposits have fallen by $313 billion. The decline in core deposits, those excluding large certificates of deposit, have been even more drastic, with a total of $1.1 trillion. This has left bankers in a bind, wondering, how can we make loans when we don't have deposits? The decrease in both checking account balances and money market deposits indicate the severity of their dilemma. Another big concern for bank officials who set credit standards is the length of the ongoing economic downturn. A Wall Street Journal poll found that 63% of economists and financial analysts believe the slump will last at least another year, fueling worries that more banks could fall in the second half of 2024. Adding to these concerns, both personal and commercial bankruptcies have caused significant losses for major U.S. banks this year. In April alone, business bankruptcies jumped by 40% compared to the previous year, while personal bankruptcies rose by 16%, with nearly 500,000 cases filed. Michael Schwartz, a bankruptcy attorney in Philadelphia, says that high interest rates, required minimum payments on credit cards, and the end of student loan payment deferrals have severely strained America financially. These pressures have significantly increased household expenses, driving many to seek bankruptcy as a form of relief. Meanwhile, credit card debt in the U.S. has reached a record high of $1.13 trillion, shedding light on the deeply personal nature of this financial crisis. The average American household now carries about $7,932 in credit card debt. Moreover, around 25% of Americans in debt are reducing their monthly payments on these balances. This year, the average monthly payment toward credit card debt has decreased to $363 from $430 in 2023. Matt Schultz, who is chief credit analyst at LendingTree, points out that the mix of record-high credit card interest rates and climbing prices for everyday items are major contributors to this situation. This shows that many people are struggling with ongoing inflation and other financial challenges that have persisted for years. People are increasingly struggling to meet their financial goals, like paying down debt. When you put less money toward credit card debt in the short term, it can have severe long-term consequences. Unpaid balances accrue interest, increasing your debt and potentially damaging your credit score. Moreover, money that goes to interest charges could have been saved for emergencies or retirement. With the average credit card interest rate currently at a steep 21%, those who can't pay off their balances each month find themselves caught in a debt spiral, especially as the cost of everyday necessities climb. This financial pressure is especially tough on young and middle-aged adults who have had less time to accumulate savings and now have to manage budgets that are tighter due to the economic climate. Dan Brewerton, a 54-year-old IT worker from New York, learned the hard way after a costly divorce led him to file for bankruptcy. In an interview with Newsweek, Brewerton described bankruptcy as initially relieving but ultimately a trap. Under Chapter 13, any income he earns beyond his regular 40-hour work week is taken by the bankruptcy trustee. After